All right, today is October the 28th, 2015. We're watching the Northeast Pacific Water Vapor Loop. And this huge area of high pressure continues to dominate the East Pacific Ocean. And here we see a lot of tan through here, and that is very dry air. We have a lot of hundreds of thousands of square miles of open ocean exposed to sunlight. And this is what heats the ocean, the surface temperature of the ocean. So that's why we have such warm temperatures down here along the equatorial Pacific down here, where a lot of these hurricanes are fueling up. Right down here, we can see a couple of thunderstorm cells right down here that are being blown apart, as a matter of fact, right there. We'll take a look at those in a minute. Uh, but anyone that's wondering how uh, climate change is occurring, it's not because of fossil fuels so much. That's an excuse. The reason is because of these HAARP transmitters that are just opening up huge areas of open ocean to direct sunlight. Okay, and that's what we're seeing here. And this is done, of course, to block this low that's been up here, this strong low pressure, and to block all that weather from moving in. We have a huge low pressure system heading up to the northeast, right up over here. And there is a HAARP transmitter in this area that is dealing with that situation. And so we have a high, we've got some low pressure down here, and some high up here that's continuing to block this from moving in to the west coast. So we've got low, high, and low, and from all that, we're getting Santa Ana winds that are going to be blowing offshore, fairly strong. I'm hearing on the news. So let's go look at some of these other maps. We have this is the infrared loop, and we can see that moisture field that just moved over California. Didn't bring any rain. We didn't get one drop of rain out of that huge moisture field with Olaf right on the tail of that moisture field. No rain. Today we had a lot of clouds. It actually looked like rain clouds, but again, there was nothing, no rain, and it didn't feel like rain. It wasn't damp. The humidity today, I think, was 34% when I took the measurement earlier today. Um, and of course, look at here, we have this wide area of open ocean. This is what's heating the ocean temperatures when they do this. This is all about weather modification. I think it's weather warfare between not only the United States, but India, Russia, mainly Russia, and probably China. It's a covert war, and I think it's all about currency. And the U.S. media is not uh, explaining this. The jokers that do the weather on television are not telling us really what's going on. And so a lot of people don't know what's going on. But if we just look at these maps over and over often enough, things start to become clear. Okay. Now here is the East Pacific Water Vapor Loop. We have some thunderstorm activity down here. This is where all the hurricanes have been getting started up down here, and also further over in the eastern East Pacific. But today we see an example of a thunderstorm cluster right here that's being blown apart. They superheat the cores of the thunderstorms with microwave and heat them instantaneously, and the cores implode. And we have all of this steamy looking water vapor all around. All right, so that's a fairly good, decent example. That's a good example of how they do this. Here's the infrared loop. Right here is where the area was targeted. And we've been watching this for months, and also about 3 years on the satellite. I started doing this with the barometer and found some strange things with the barometer, and then just started getting other pieces of equipment to look at to measure the weather, the dew point, the humidity, and all that, or relative humidity and the barometric pressure, and started watching these satellites about 3.5 years ago, and just strange things that between between all that and the timing of the chemtrail spraying activities, it's pretty easy to figure out what they're doing. The chemtrail spraying is done on the leading edges of these storm fronts that are moving in, these low pressure systems that are bringing moisture into the west coast. And those aerosols stop the rain by lowering the relative humidity, and this is what we've been finding. So I'm just sharing that on a daily basis. We're trying to demonstrate a pattern. Okay, so let's look at the western U.S. This is the water vapor loop. We have high pressure clockwise rotation right here, and we've got we've got low pressure right over here, and there is some low pressure down on here. We'll see that on the pressure charts, but at any rate, we have offshore Santa Ana winds that are going to result from all this, these variables coming together at the same time. All right. Here is the infrared loop. Let's keep going here. Now here is the Northwest Atlantic, and there's a huge low pressure system right here, and they are hitting this right in here with a HAARP transmitter. There's a lot of dry air right here, and that is to weaken this core. This is a low pressure system. Hitting this with heat will raise the barometric pressure in the core and weaken the system. And they wind hot air right into the core. On a large system like this is how they handle it with a larger transmitter. A HAARP transmitter has a larger aperture. And then on the hurricanes and the localized thunderstorm cells, like we see down here, they target these with pinpoint accuracy with a microwave, it appears, and we can see those little systems being blown apart. All right, and they also steer hurricanes with high pressure gradients. You know, they build high pressure. For instance, out here, right over Hawaii, if there's a storm moving out this direction, they'll surround Hawaii with a huge area of high pressure, and that storm will just either go to the north or move along to the south. So that's how they do it, and we've been watching that for a long time. If you watch some of these earlier videos that I've made over the last 4 months, a lot of that is cataloged in each one of those videos. So take a look at them. Okay, here's the infrared loop. New York is getting a lot of rain. I have a connection out there in Westchester County. They're just pouring rain out there right now today. All right, let's keep going here. This is the visible light mode showing these thunderstorms off of Mexico that were being destroyed today earlier now. They have overlays on 3 different points, little fluorescent overlays right here and here. These 3 little points are hidden with overlay material to hide the dimples that the microwave transmitters make on these thunderheads. So they are being a lot more careful, it seems, in the last month about hiding that evidence. But you'll see it in my earlier videos in the last 4 months, going back to June 22nd. Okay, let's see here. We have the jet stream map. Now the jet stream has got one flow here moving right down into California, and then we have another separate flow moving through Canada and down right here where that low pressure is spinning through the midsection of the country. So we have 2 separate flows going. All right, let's look at the, here is the surface pressure analysis map, and we see this huge ever-present high. It's just a much larger high, and that's keeping all this weather to the north, up off of Canada. This is that low that was 952 millibar about 4 or 5 days ago. It's still well to the north, and you've got high pressure right here and here to keep this area. Let's go back to the big map again and look at it. They're keeping all this weather. This is still spinning counterclockwise, and they're keeping that out of out of Canada and out of the United States by putting highs all through here, right here, and then there's a high up here. So let's go back and take another look at that. Right here, we've got a high over right off of Canada and right off of, looks like, Oregon. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and look at the, this is the sea level pressure map, and they're indicating high pressure here, of course, and that is blocking all of this weather. We've got, and there's high pressure here, these ridges, to block that. And we have this low right here that is spinning and moving towards the northeast right here. All right, let's look at the 500 millibar. We can see some of this low pressure down here over California. And we have high pressure up here right next to this low. And then we've got low over here. So there's a wind developing, and it's going to be moving towards the low pressure down our way. And so we're going to get a moderate Santa Ana wind, which is around 40 to 50 miles per hour, heading out to offshore. All right. It's already actually starting to blow. It started getting windy about 10 after 8 up here in the foothills in Los Angeles. Okay, here's the 300 millibar. We've got a general area of a slight low pressure right here by these little troughs. And we've got high up here where they're blocking this low from moving in. We've got, they don't want this thing to move in and join up with this thing here. We were just looking at that. Let's go look at that one more time. That's a pretty big system. This has a lot of rain in it, and we can see that it extends all the way up Wisconsin and Minnesota, and all the way down around in Canada, and all the way up and down all through the Northeast. So that's got a lot of rain and thunderstorms. Here it is in the infrared loop. So it seems that if they had allowed, let's go back to that 300 millibar. If they had allowed this system to move onshore, which it would have done, it's possible it could have merged with this thing here and really been a, let's get the camera going here. They've got these high pressure. This is high pressure indicated through here. Now, if this was not here, this would have moved in and probably joined up with this. So they've got a blockade here, and that's what they're doing. That's what it appears to be to me, anyhow. So that's pretty much it for today. We'll just keep an eye on things and another update tomorrow. All right, that's it.